Are you directing at me? I'm directing this picture. Are you directing at me? Well, you must be directing at me. I'm the only one here. A Bronx Tale, released in 1993, and is directed by Robert De Niro, which I just found out while preparing for this review, and I didn't know that while watching the movie, and I think that's really cool. And this film is also starring Robert De Niro, Chaz Palminteri, Lilo Broccato Jr., Carla Hicks, and Catherine Narducci. And the reason why we're talking about A Bronx Tale today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a big contributor this year on this channel, Jeremy Pape. Thank you very much for the recommendation. When he sent this over, he did say this is one of his favorite films, and good on ya, because I never watched this film before today, Jeremy, and I had a sense of what I was expecting from this, but this film completely went in a different direction than I was anticipating. Some things I was suspecting did happen, but this is actually a very loving picture and a very paternal film of these two male figures in this young kid's life and trying to influence him to do good. I thought it was going to be like a mobster hit film or something. So thank you very much, Jeremy, for the recommendation. If anyone else out there also wants to be like Jeremy and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that's in the bottom left corner of your screen right now and send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation. And if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out just like what I did with Jeremy Pape here. Clogro is a young boy living in the Bronx with his Italian-American father and mother, and he spends his day wandering the streets of the Bronx, but he always keeps an eye on one male figure in the neighborhood who seems to always be running things by the name of Sonny. And one day this kid witnesses Sonny commit murder right in the middle of the street, and when questioned by the police, the young kid denies that Sonny did anything. So from that day on, Sonny takes a liking to the kid and starts to give him fatherly advice as he grows into a young man. But of course, the kid's father, Lorenzo, played by Robert De Niro, he doesn't really like that. He is a stand-up gentleman. He is a bus driver. He works hard for all of his money, whereas we have this character of Sonny who is feared by everyone, and I don't think they ever really, come out and say it, but he's a mobster. He runs the mob in the local neighborhoods, and he makes sure people are taken care of just as long as he gets dues from everybody. So right off the bat, we have a sense that this Sonny character is an evil person, and he's a bad person, and Lorenzo, the Robert De Niro character, he is the person that we should be behind, and we should be following, and we should be agreeing with his fatherly style to this kid, as opposed to the surrogate fatherly figure of Sonny. But as the movie goes along, we start to see that the hard-working man Lorenzo actually does have flaws of his own. And Sonny, while he is a mobster and is killing people, he does have some great things about him too, and gives actually some fantastic life advice for this young kid. And I thought for sure this was going to turn into some Godfather, Scarface-like film where we were going to have shootouts and mobs fighting other mobs, but we don't really get that. We just have a mob established in this area, and that's just a known fact, but it doesn't really play into the main story, which is this kid. It's a coming-of-age tale. He's growing up, and he's learning major, monumental life lessons from both of these father figures in his life. And I just think that is so cool. I had my mindset on one thing just because it's a Bronx Tale. We have a lot of these Italian-American people with the slick back hair, bowling shirts, and they have the gold chain with the crucifix on it. Thought for sure this was going to turn into like some mob hit film. But to be pleasantly surprised that this is really a heartwarming coming-of-age tale. Yes, we have some action set pieces, we have some moments of hate crimes and violence in here, but we're seeing this young kid turn into a young man before our eyes, and it's actually very heartwarming. And kudos goes to the director, Robert De Niro. He's making his feature-length directorial debut with this film, and I think he does a great job of keeping the pace going and telling a beautiful story about men in this country. There are times when you have this stereotypical tough love, and there's a couple of moments where the father slaps his kid because he's talking back to him, but there are also very emotional moments and very vulnerable moments that I never had growing up as a kid. When I was growing up as a young boy, we were taught, oh, you got to keep all of your feelings deep down. You got to be tough. You always got to be tough because that's what men do. But this film is promoting that you can be vulnerable and that you can show emotion if you are falling in love with someone that maybe your society is telling you that you shouldn't. Yeah, that's right. There is a big racial concern in this film that leads to the climax of this movie and what happens. But Clegro is actually infatuated and is falling in love with a black student student who just moved into the neighborhood and is going to his school. All of his friends, even his father, is saying like, no, 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 you don't want to date a black person. You are Italian. You want to keep it all within the same breed. But then here comes Sonny, who's saying like, no, no, no. If she gives you butterflies, if all you can think about is her, and if she shows affection towards you by unlocking the door, then she is a keeper. Who cares what other people think? The story is just so shocking to me. I thought we were going to go in one direction, and it pulls the rug out from underneath me, and I fall flat on my face. So, you know, shame on me for having that mindset when looking at the types of characters that we have in here, thinking that it's going to be one thing, and it turns out to be something more, and actually something emotionally driven. However, I think De Niro, because he is directing this film, I think he should have given better direction to Lilo Brancanto Jr., who plays the older version, the teenage version of Caligro. He runs very strangely. He doesn't run with his arms. He runs a lot in this movie. He's running across the street, or he's running after a car, or he's running after someone, and he never moves his arms. He just runs like this. He has this leather jacket on and it's swaying back, but his arms are all the way down, and he's just running like this. I think some direction needed to be given to him, like, okay, so this is how you run. You run with your arms up. Like this. Not, what is this? What are you doing? Are you running like Vin Diesel? What are you doing? That's really the main thing that took me out of this movie, because he does run a lot. But whenever he ran, he just ran with his arms down here, just kind of swaying, and he's not running like an actual person. A Bronx Tale is surprisingly a heartfelt film, and it just kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time, because I thought we were going in one direction. We went into a completely other one. The performances in here are great. I think the direction of this film is surprising from a first-time director, and I can definitely see why Jeremy has it towards the top of his list of one of his favorite films of all time. It's impressive. I'm going to give A Bronx Tale 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen A Bronx Tale, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.